Welcome back everybody, this is Amaze Penguin here, just bringing you a quick tutorial for the new decoration missiles and From the Depths. In this tutorial I'll be showing you how to set up different types of missiles inside different launchers. So for the first example here, we're going to have a normal box launcher, and we're going to set up a decorative missile for that. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and we're going to set up our decoration. For this, I've already made a prefab of it, but you have your main missile decoration block here. We're going to have it set to a model length of 5, model diameter of 0.5. You don't want to change the 0.5 here unless you want to scale your missile up or down, but if you're building the decorations on your missile to scale, you don't want to touch that. You want to leave it 0.5. The model length though, you want to make the length of your actual launch rail. In this case, I'm only scanning for one block in front of the missile decorator for additional tethered decorations. Give your missile a nice name and go ahead and disable the default missile model. Once you have it ready and assembled, you can go ahead over to your missile and change the munition. So here we're just changing it to our harpoons, and then you'll see that the default missiles have been replaced inside our launcher. So going ahead and giving those a test fire. And you can see our missiles working nice. Let's consider for a second though, if we have tube launch. If we go ahead and change this to our harpoon design, you'll see that the fins are sticking out the sides. This isn't very desirable, it doesn't look good. If you're decorative building like I am, it's icky. So we're gonna go ahead and fix that. The first thing we're gonna do is you'll notice that these missiles are actually nothing but cluster components. So you need one controller and then the rest are gonna be extensions. You'll be able to use the same exact size missile in this thing. You'll only lose one component by doing this method. What I'm going to do here is set the release after flight time to 0 seconds. This means as soon as the missile launches, it's going to release that cluster munition. So now that we do that, we're going to use the empty one that I created over here, the empty missile decorator, and just go ahead and load it into all these tubes. Although I will need to make sure to set that to not display the default missile. Go do that. And now you can see the default missile is no longer in these tubes. These tubes look empty, even though there is a missile there. Second thing we're going to want to do is we're going to need to make a prefab or have some extra missiles for these sub-munitions on our vessel. I've also made a prefab for this already, and it looks like this. You can see my prefab already had loaded in that they're going to use the harpoon decoration. And just to look, you'll need one cluster ejector on here, and you can do speed inheritance 1, but on this missile, since it's not going to have any velocity at the start, it doesn't matter what this is. So just build the rest of the missile like normal, guidance, seeker, and warheads. Then what you need is you're going to need a wireless receiver connected to these missiles, and however many missiles you have, will need one for each launcher. Then on your actual missile setup, you're going to need the transmitter. I have modded invisible transmitting components just for decorative purposes, but using the in-game components will work just as well. You'll see that this is transmitting on channel 2 and this is receiving on channel 2. There's a second one because this decoration uses 2 different missile launch rails just so they can be close together like this. So we know that they're hooked up now, and that's really it. They're good to go. So if I go ahead and switch and go to fire, what's going to happen is the cluster munition is going to fire and immediately eject the harpoon itself. The invisible cluster munition is going to be rolling around on the deck, and eventually it will explode, but it's not going to do any damage since it has no warheads. So let's go ahead and we launch that missile there. You'll see I hit caps lock there to try and track the missile, but it doesn't work because of the canister missile is ejected first. and you can't use caps to lock onto the submunition. But the missile launches and everything's good. With this setup, you might have a little bit of issues with the missile trying to eject inside the deck. This could be easily remedied by just adding an ejector component to the back of the missile just to launch the canister a bit forward before it ejects. So like maybe even setting the time delay to like 0.1 second or something, just so that initial velocity is preserved and it doesn't get stuck in your vessel. But I hope this helps, and you'll see that's the explosion of the empty canister there. Again, it does no damage, so the only thing is it kind of looks bad. But there you go, there you have it. Nice, beautiful decorative missiles for your vessels. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you, and I look forward to seeing what designs you guys come up with. See you soon.